Hello, I'm Per Björkling. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about body control and how to practice it, because it really is something that we have to practice in order to achieve. I frequently see people losing control over their bodies by tightening up their backs and shoulders and arms, and that makes them unable to move freely and therefore play. So I'm going to show how I address this problem, starting with our shoulders. Just making sure that first of all that you have the basic mobility that you need in your shoulders to play. So just lifting them up and down, and then make sure that you're able to perform a shoulder roll forward and backwards. Now this is important because if you can't do this while playing, that means that your shoulders are tight, and you really want to get rid of that so that they're always loose and free to move. So you can just start with some open strings, and then try to move your shoulder. See what happens. It's pretty hard to do this without losing sound and losing control over the bow, but just start simple and make sure that you can pull and push the bow back and forth without bumps as you are rolling your shoulders. So basically what happens here shouldn't affect too much what's going on down here. Of course, when you're playing in real life, so to speak, of course you don't want to roll your shoulders and move, you just want the ability to do it. Once you feel that you're in control of doing it on just open strings, you can start playing scales. So on. Same thing with your left shoulder. Just because you're using your left hand to play shouldn't mean that you're locking up the arm and shoulder. So just play a simple scale while moving your left shoulder. Make sure that you have the same mobility up in thumb position. Now make sure that your vibrato doesn't make you tighten up your shoulders. So try to play a scale with vibrato and move your shoulders. Same thing up in thumb position. Make sure that vibrating up in thumb position doesn't make you lock up your shoulders. Okay, so next thing, we want to make sure that we can move our necks freely, so that as soon as we start playing, we don't start tightening up our necks, locking our head. So same thing, just start simple with open strings. Make sure that you can move your head around while playing. And then move on to play a scale. And so on, playing all octaves, all different keys, but just really make sure that you can move your head as freely as when you're not playing. Even if you lock up your neck because of just muscle tension caused by playing your instrument, or because just a mental block that you cannot do two things at the same time, just playing and moving your body, it doesn't matter. You're still constraining your body and making it unable to move freely, and therefore you won't be able to control your instrument. And same thing with vibrato. To make sure that your vibrato isn't causing tension, vibrato should, if anything, make you more loose and free. So play scales with vibrato and move your neck and head. Now same thing goes for your back and torso and hips. They must always be flexible and able to move. So try playing while still wiggling your hips and turning your torso around a little while playing scales or etudes or whatever you do in your daily warm-up routine. No matter if you're playing, like I do, a French bow hold or a German, your fingers can never lock up and become tight. So they should always have a firm enough grip of the bow, but never cramp. So if you play French bow, you can do something that I call a jellyfish exercise. It's extending and then releasing your finger as you're playing. So it looks like this. Finally, if you sit down like I do, make sure that you don't have to support the bass with your left leg, meaning that you have to tighten up your leg and push it against the bass. This leg needs to just rest. So make sure that your stool is supporting your leg and that you can just rest the bass against your leg, and that doesn't make you having to push back against the bass, because that will lock up your leg, will spread up your back and your shoulder. That's the thing that what's giving me the most trouble with vibrato is if I start pushing with my left leg against the bass. So make sure that you can just rest the bass against your leg without having to push back. Okay, so to conclude, practice your scales and open strings and etudes or whatever in your daily warm-up, and roll your shoulder both one at a time and then both of them together. Move your neck and head. Look around in different parts of the room. Make sure that you're not staring at your bow or at the fingerboard, because that will also cause tension for you. So play your scales while moving your fingers. Make sure that they never start cramping around the bow. And even if it looks a little funny, wiggle your hips while playing a scale. Turn your torso both directions while playing. And once you're in control of that, you're going to improve drastically, and it's going to give you a lot more freedom while playing. Especially when we get nervous, this tends to get even worse. Alright, I hope this was helpful, and if you thought it was, please like and subscribe, and I will see you later.